Well, folks, it's official. Tattooed Chef, TTCF stock, they are actually supposed to report earnings within 24 hours from me recording this video, essentially. The earnings are set to come out after the market closes on November 16, 2021. So here we are. It is finally the time. And we're going to talk about what Tattooed Chef stock is going to crash down to, okay? Now, why for this video are we talking only about the stock crashing? Well, it seems like everybody's convinced that the stock is going to crash, right? The shorts are already celebrating. They're popping champagne bottles tonight. The longs are scared out of their minds for a lot of them, right? And so we're going to talk about the price levels the stock could go down to. We're going to talk about where I would buy this stock, where I am going to buy this stock, and those sorts of things. And we're not even going to entertain the idea of this stock going up on earnings. We're not even going to entertain that idea. We're not even going to consider the possibility that this stock goes up on earnings. We're not even going to consider the possibility that this stock is break even on earnings. We're only considering this stock tanks on earnings, all right? Which, by the way, is kind of a fun way to look at it. You know why? Because it's only upside, baby. If you already considered the stock's going to crash and you're already mentally prepared for that, if we get a break-even day, W. If we get a day that's an up day, W. If we get a stock that skyrockets, huge W, right? Like, it's all good, right? So it's also not a bad way to kind of think about it, is just always mentally prepare for your stocks to go down. And how did we get to this place? Okay, I think this is worth addressing. How did we get to this place where longs are so unconfident? How did we get to this place where shorts are convinced they're going to make a fortune here, right? Well, look at what's happened to the plant-based food stocks. Look what happened to Beyond Meat. Got destroyed on earnings. Look what happened to Oatly. Destroyed on earnings, right? The stock just hit a new 52-week low today. Today, literally the day before Tattooed Chef's report. So everybody is like, scared, needless to say, right? Scared. And never mind, we could go through a ton of small caps that have tanked, 15, 20, 25, 30% plus on their earnings. All right? I'm talking, companies that are valued less than $2 billion. Guess where Tattooed Chef is? So you have all these elements, and if that wasn't bad enough, then you have management postpone the earnings last week, right? We still don't know the reason why they postponed. We might get some color as far as that goes on the conference call or maybe in the earnings release. I think still a lot of people are curious, like, why did you guys postpone the earnings call, and especially so last minute? So I think a lot of people still want to know that. And so when you take all those factors in, a lot of the smaller caps having a lot of trouble. Plant-based stocks getting destroyed and a postpone of earnings. Plus, on top of that, the stock price has been trending down for the last, month or two, right? You got a lot of people that are like, oh my gosh, are we about to tank, right? And then from the short side, how are they so convinced? Well, one, shorts are always convinced they're going to make money. Let's just keep that in mind. They wouldn't short a stock if they weren't convinced, right? Most of the time they're wrong, but at the same time, they're always convinced they're going to make money. Two, they need the stock to go down short term so they can cover their shares and take their profit and run out of that, right? So that's how we got to this place where so many people are convinced that this stock's going to tank, right? All right, so let's entertain that idea. Let's say that happens, all right? So first price I think you have to talk about is $15.50. So as far as Tattooed Chef $15.50, this is, by the way, let me be very clear. I am making no moves. I am not selling one of my shares before these earnings. Not one. And I am ready to buy like it's nobody's business, okay? I'm not selling one share. If it goes down, cool. I'll go down with the ship. Sweet. I'm still on board. I'm not selling one share before the earnings. I don't care to. I don't care to try to play that timing game about, well, people think it's going to go down, so let me try to get out and get back in. No, it's a losing game, man. It's a losing game. You start going down that rabbit hole, you're going to end up down that rabbit hole, and you're going to end up down that rabbit hole, if you know what I'm saying, okay? Down that rabbit hole. So that's not even a game I play. Long-term investments of mine that are big position, I don't care, man. Go down. Whatever. I'll buy more shares, okay? So I think that just needs to be said. $15.50. So if we've looked at Tattooed Chef, and if you have observed this stock over the past year, this stock has incredible support in the 15 to 16 range. This stock will go down to 15-ish, 16-ish, right? And next thing you know, boom, 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 it's right back up. And next thing you know, it's 22, 23, 24. And so there's definitely a huge amount of support that comes in those prices. I'm one of those people that supports this stock when it goes to those prices. And recently, the day after earnings, I put in a ton of orders for that Thursday to go through. One was at, let's see, I think I did one at 1675, 1650, 16, and then I did a 1550. The 1550 didn't hit, but the rest of them hit, okay? And so I am one of those people that if this stock goes down to 1550, I will be buying. So that's a first level I like to look at, is that 1550-ish or $16 range where the stock seems to have an incredible amount of support. No, I don't want to do a software update right now. Like Apple, I'm going to record a video here. This is going to be a slightly popular video for Financial Education 3. Like, you know, I can't be doing a software update when I'm in the middle of recording this video. By the way, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet. This is going on Little Dog channel. I appreciate you guys being here on this channel. Much love as always, okay? And always don't forget to smash and download the Hungry Bowl. That's extremely important in life. You can't go anywhere in life if you don't have the Hungry Bowl on your phone. It's just extremely important. So 1550 first level I'm looking at. Now, let's say it breaks 15. This would be a massive crash, but you can't assume none of these are possibilities because look at how many stocks crash 20, 30%, right? So let's assume it goes down. The next level I would be looking at is like 1475. So that would be a ridiculous crash to get down to 1475, but that's the only other level I think is even a remote possibility if the stock was to truly crash. Do I see anything past 1475? No, I just don't, to be honest, because there's just way too much buying pressure that would come into the stock, in my opinion. I would be, if it fell past 15, I'm selling out of other positions just to buy more Tattooed Chef, essentially. And I know there's an immense amount of people that are part of, part of this mission and what the stock's going to be over the next 5-10 years. Like, if it gets to silly enough pricings, I'll make tough decisions and I'll sell out of positions I really like and I'll buy just even more shares up of this one, okay? Because at the end of the day, when I look at the Chef, it's a $1-something billion market cap that I'm convinced this is going to be a $10 billion plus company down the road. I'm convinced this is going to be a company that gets to $500 million plus of net income over the next decade. Okay. And so if I'm convinced like that, then I think the stock's going to 10 billion plus. So if I buy for 1 billion, 1.5 billion, 2 billion, it's all money made, right? As long as the stock goes to where I think it's going, but the money's going to be crazy the lower it goes, right? And so that's only another level I'm kind of looking at here. Now, in terms of, should we even talk about upside? Should we talk about it? Probably not, because just everybody's so convinced that the stock is going to tank. Okay, so now that we're all mentally prepared for the stock to tank, it's going down. It's going to go through the floor, man. Okay, now that we're all convinced, let's just talk a fake. Let's just talk fake for a minute. Let's talk about the possibility that this stock goes up, okay? We're just talking crazy here because we all know it's going to crash. So, the chances the stock goes up. Well, what do we witness every time with the stock for the past year? It goes down to $16 and it comes right back to 20 plus. And then it goes back down to $16 and then it comes back to 20 plus. So, could this time be different? Sure. It could be different. And maybe this time it goes down to 1550, 1575, and it doesn't come back and it just keeps going down for several months after that, right? It's always a possibility. You never really know, right? As far as the fundamentals of the company, I think they're going to be great. I think the revenue growth is probably going to be 50% plus. I think next quarter, probably 50% plus. I think next year, analysts have them growing 34%. I think they can do 40% plus revenue growth next year. I think the numbers are going to be extraordinary for as long out as I can see when it comes to this company. But just because you have a compelling long-term story with your stock does not mean that the shareholders are going to hold long-term. And also there could be short-term money in this. And there's a huge short interest in this, right? And so who knows where the narrative will be driven in this. If you have a lot of people that are short a stock, right, they will try to find whatever is the negative thing in those earnings, whatever is the bad way to look at those earnings. And they will look at it with a glass half empty, and they will try to put that everywhere out there. Oh, did you see this number over here? This looks troubling. They're in big trouble. Did you hear that one thing they said on the conference call? And so you never know how the narrative will be pitched around this. I remember for a long time, Tesla in mainstream media, it seemed like it didn't matter what earnings they came out with, what they reported for numbers, it was always seen as like glass half empty. And the way mainstream media would always report it would be very, very negative. And so I think the short sellers had a part in that. I'll be completely honest. And I think with something like a Tattooed Chef, it is certainly not out of the realm of possibility, right? So I think the numbers are going to be great. I think the numbers are going to continue to be great. I think the fundamentals across the company are just in a phenomenal place. The balance sheet's in a good place. They got a good amount of cash around. I think there's a high probability they'll either break even or, dare I even say, make a very, very slight profit next year. And so my conviction around the stock over the coming years has not changed at all. I am ready for the stock to crash tomorrow, okay, after the bell and into the next day. I'm ready for it. And it might not happen, but I'm ready for it. I'm mentally prepared. I'm prepared to buy. I got money ready. And if it goes down, I'll buy. And if it goes down enough, I might even buy some call options for 2024. Maybe something like that. We'll see, okay? And obviously, I'll cover those earnings for you guys on the main channel tomorrow night. So hope you enjoyed this little video of me putting this together and kind of sharing my perspective on, where the stock could crash down to, since so many people are convinced that that's going to happen. I think it's worth talking about. Anyways, guys, thanks again for joining me. Much love as always. Don't forget to download the Hungry Bowl. And also, we got a massive deal coming up for the private stock group, literally coming up next week. So only deal, well, I don't even want to go there. Anyways, guys, much love as always. And I was going to make a joke. Have a great day. Peace.